Okay, hello again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. My name is Lar Ryan, for any of you who don't already know me. And this live stream is for General Training IELTS Writing Task 1. So if you're doing academic IELTS, unfortunately, this one is not suitable for you. And I know that the vast majority of students are doing academic. So there tends to be fewer students attending these ones, but of course that is good for those of you who are doing general training IELTS. So the way the lesson works is I'm going to show you a question and I'm going to get you piece by piece to write the answer. And then as you write your answers, I'll give you feedback, explain what mistakes you're making, and I will be able to show you how to improve your scores. Okay, so first thing I want you to do is I want you to write the greeting for the question. So let me share the question here. Okay, so I'm not going to read it out. I'll let you read it yourselves and write the greeting for this question for me. And it is possible to do this incorrectly, which is why I'm getting you to do it. I want to just make sure that you can do it. And if you cannot, of course, I'll be able to correct you and you'll learn from that mistake. Domenico, hello, welcome back. Hey, Preeti. Hi, Sohi. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm just going to spend the next hour telling you everything you're doing wrong. Might seem a bit mean, but the idea is by telling you what you're doing wrong, you can avoid that mistake in future and help improve your score. About, hi from Australia. Great. Welcome to the lesson. Zubair, hello to you from Bangladesh. Great. Domenico, I will take academic version, but I want to use this lesson as a way to learn new vocabulary. The lesson won't really be focusing on vocabulary. I won't be teaching vocabulary. You're more than welcome to stay. You're more than welcome to participate. But I would genuinely say if you're doing academic IELTS, there is probably something more important that you could do with your time. You know, if it means go and studying vocabulary or going and, improving your pronunciation or whatever it would be, to use your time as wisely as possible is very important when you're preparing for the IELTS test. It's easy to fill up your time. I mean, it's very easy to do something, but if you focus on exactly the things that are going to improve your scores, you'll get your scores a lot sooner. So it's not that you're not welcome, Domenico. You're absolutely 100% welcome to stay here. But my concern is, by participating in this lesson when you're doing academic IELTS, are you actually, pushing the date at which you achieve your results? Are you pushing that date forward? And it will actually take you longer because you're not focused enough. I'm not telling you to leave. Please don't take it that way. I'm just saying, it might not be the best use of your time. Hi, Zinat. Welcome to the lesson. Akbar, hello to you. Krishanta from Sri Lanka, great. Welcome to the lesson. Okay, you've been busy at it. Good for you. Okay, here we go. Here's the first answer. Yasin says, "Dear Mr. Smith," perfect, absolutely perfect. So Yasin is on Facebook. I'm going to jump into Facebook and I'm going to take Yasin's answer and add it to our document. So basically, the reason that it's appropriate is that this is a formal letter. So we have to use Mr. or Mrs. or Miss and then add the surname. Okay, so that's exactly what we do. Now, if this had been Dear John, that would be wrong because you have to use the person's surname for a formal letter. Okay, so this is absolutely perfect here. Dear Mr. Smith. Okay, now the rest of the letter, we don't really need the rest of the question. we already know what to do from this point. So I'm just going to make it smaller so that we can see a bit more. Now, from there, we jump quickly onto the next task. And I want you to write the first sentence of paragraph 1, not the full paragraph, just the first sentence, because I want you to focus completely on that first prompt. And I always want the first sentence to respond directly to the prompt. If you talk more generally about the topic, you're not really doing what you need to do. So for general training, I want a direct response to the first prompt. So in this case, explain why you can't go. The explanation, the exact reason, should be in the first sentence of paragraph 1. Not saying you cannot go. That's not enough. Just saying you cannot go is not enough. I want you to explain the exact reason why you cannot go in the first sentence. So please go ahead and write the first sentence of paragraph 1, and I'll continue giving everyone else feedback. Jashan Preet, hello, sir. How can you get the best score in task 1? There is any pattern? Well, it's really, it's down to understanding how to get a high score for task achievement, coherence and cohesion, vocab and grammar. Like what we're looking at here is task achievement and coherence and cohesion, like what information to put in each sentence, the organization of your essay. And then after that, obviously, if you have a vocab problem, you need to improve your vocab. If you have a grammar problem, you need to improve your grammar. So it really just depends on, finding out what your problems are and improving in those areas. Chathavan, hello to you from Sri Lanka. Good to have you here. Mousa, hello to you. Welcome. Domenico, by the way, I'm from Italy and I've had an early morning today. I've been doing pronunciation practice until now. Excellent. So I think it's time for me to catch my breath for a moment. Okay, so you're taking a break from IELTS with some IELTS. I like your dedication. Yes, we're doing general training, writing task 1 today. Okay, dear Mr. Smith, I'm writing this letter to inform you that I cannot attend the visit. Visit would be wrong. I know you're trying to broaden your range of vocabulary, and that is a good thing to do, but only when it's accurate. So attend the visit. I cannot visit. That's the problem. So we'll just remove attend the visit and we'll say visit our headquarters due to some circumstances. No. Due to some circumstances is too vague. Explain why you can't go. And you've said, I can't go because of some reason. That's not an explanation. That's saying you cannot go. And it's it makes it sound like you don't want to explain why you can't go. So I can't go for some reason. That's too vague. I want a direct answer in the first sentence. So everything here looks good. Some small vocab mistakes, some small grammar mistakes. But the big problem for me in this sentence, Yasin, is that you said, due to some circumstances. I would want you to say exactly what the circumstance is. Okay. Hi, Gurwinder. Welcome. Hello from Dubai. Fantastic. Hi, Nischai. Arvinder, hello to you. And you're doing general training. Perfect. Okay. So we're still left with, we need the first sentence of paragraph 1. So Yasin is the only one who has attempted it. And Yasin has done a relatively good job. But I want all of my students to have a direct answer to the question in the first sentence. So not just talk about the prompt, but actually answer the prompt directly. Okay, so we'll just wait for some student to come up with an appropriate response here. While I'm waiting, and let me share my live feedback lessons. So I know a lot of you are familiar to my lessons, so this is not something new to you, but there are some new faces here. So for those of you who are near, you can either look in the video description or you can click on this link in the comments. But every week I have live feedback lessons on Zoom. So they're my free group classes on Zoom. and they cover all parts of the IELTS test. So each week we cover a new part of the IELTS test. If you want to join those, click on the link and sign up, and you will see the full schedule of what days, the schedule of when, and what the topics are. And basically you just need to click on the Zoom link at the right time and you can attend those. I know a lot of you have signed up already, but just for the new students. I'm also going to do IELTS General, so I'm confused about the reading task. So we're not covering reading today, Niskal, but I can just share a link with you as well, just to give you a little bit of guidance. So I'm going to stay focused on IELTS, General IELTS Writing Task 1 today. But just because you've mentioned reading, just to give you a little bit of help, you'll find this link here in the comments for you. So it says IELTS reading lesson. You can just click on that. But for now, I'm going to stay focused on task 1. Today's lesson is for task 1. Hey, Blessing. Good to see you back here. Hi, ready? Okay, Yasin, I'm writing this letter to inform you that I am obliged to reschedule the visit to the headquarters because my wife has given birth to our first child. Lovely job. Very good, Yasin. Okay, so I'm going to run in and I'm going to copy this from Yasin again. Okay, so that's our first sentence. I'm writing this letter to inform you that I am obliged to. It sounds like somebody else is making you do it. So let's say I must reschedule the visit to the headquarters. That's okay, because my wife has just given birth to our first child. Okay, fantastic. So now we're on the way. So that's what we needed. And then what we're aiming for is, not exactly, but roughly, we want about 60 words in each paragraph. So at the moment, this first sentence is 27 words. So we need about another 30 words. So we want to stay on topic. We want to stay discussing this thing, this reason. So your next task is to tell me, how would you develop paragraph 1? So we have our first sentence. How are you going to develop that idea? So that's what you need to focus on next. We're going to finish this first paragraph. Delight. Hello to you. Okay, I'm writing this letter to inform you that I won't be attending the visit. No, we wouldn't say that. You would say I won't be attending the meeting, but not I won't be attending the visit to our headquarters. And then you don't start a new sentence with because. That would be the same sentence. So no full stop. Because I have been reading for my upcoming IELTS exam. It's not clear why you cannot go. So what you're saying is, I have been reading. So in the past, recently, you've been reading for your IELTS test. That's not an explanation for why you cannot go. So what you might say is something like, my IELTS test has been rescheduled to the same date. So that would explain why you can't go. But just saying that that you want to study, it sounds like you're saying you want to study for the IELTS test. So if that was the case, you wouldn't have scheduled the visit in the first place if you wanted to do something that is your own choice. So no, that wouldn't be an acceptable reason. It doesn't make sense. Are you ready? Teacher, why I'm confused. IELTS reading task. Can you give me some of the items? So take a look at that lesson that I shared with you there. You'll that will clear up a lot for you. Hey, Gaurav. Welcome back. How was your test? How did the test go for you, Gaurav? Okay. How can we improve speaking? With speaking, it depends on what your problem is. So if you have a problem with fluency, then you improve your speaking by improving your fluency. If you have a problem with vocab, then that's what you need to focus on. If it's grammar, then you do that, or if it's pronunciation, then you do that. So don't just try to improve speaking. Work out which of those four things are you trying to improve, and then that will help you to be more focused. Not yet. Okay, 2 more days. Okay, so I'm still waiting on you guys to show me how you would develop paragraph 1 based on Yasin's idea that we couldn't attend because our wife has just given birth. Okay, Yasin again. So this seems to be more like a one-on-one for Yasin. If any of the rest of you want to participate, please jump in. Yasin says, I've been through a stressful month where I had to take her to the hospital several times, even during late hours at night. However, I was more than happy when I saw my child. I would be no, actually, Yasin, this isn't appropriate because you're talking about your wife giving birth and your experience with that, and I know what you're saying is relevant to this. It's relevant to our first sentence, but it's not relevant to explaining why you can't go. So we don't want to talk about our child or about our experience of preparing for the birth or the problems that your wife may have experienced while pregnant. We want to talk about why you can't go to the meeting. So your development isn't discussing what the question has asked you to discuss. It's discussing the main idea you've used to respond to that. So that's not actually relevant. So this isn't going to help improve your task achievement score. You're not focusing on why you can't go. So the prompt says explain why you can't go. We're talking about why you can't go. So this isn't appropriate. So it has to be more focused on, explaining the connection between your wife giving birth, why you can't go. I mean, what I would actually, I won't say anything yet. I'll let you guys write the paragraph first. Speaking test was average. Well, Gaurav, nobody is happy with their speaking test when they're finished. Nobody comes out feeling excited. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Dear Mr. Smith, I'm writing this letter to inform you that due to unforeseen circumstances, such as the health conditions of one of my relatives, I have to regrettably reschedule the visit to the headquarters. Okay, so this looks good, Domenico, but what we're missing is you're saying such as. So what that would mean is that there are several unforeseen circumstances, and that's just one of them. You're making it overly complicated. Let's just use that as the main idea. So I am writing this letter to inform you that due to the poor health condition of one of my relatives, I have to regrettably reschedule the visit to the headquarters. That would be more focused. So instead of the unforeseen circumstances and then giving an example of one of these several unforeseen circumstances, just use that one example as your main idea. That would be better. Arvinder, I'm writing with to regard that. To regard doesn't make sense here. I'm writing to inform you that I have planned to visit your office. They already know. The person you're writing to already knows about the plan. Because it says it in the question. It says in the question, you have planned to visit your head office, which is located in a different city, but can no longer go. So the manager knows about this plan. The plan is with your manager. Okay, but suddenly I didn't go. But suddenly doesn't make sense. So it's not that suddenly you can't go. It's that something unexpected happened. So you might want to say, but unexpectedly I cannot go due to going somewhere. That's too vague. You want to give them the exact reason. Akash, I'm writing this letter to acknowledge you. No, to inform you, not acknowledge. To acknowledge is to, make someone aware that you know some information. Or maybe that you accept something. Okay, I'm writing this letter to inform you that I cannot, and to be able to and the word can are the same meaning. So we don't use them together. So I'm writing this letter to inform you that I am unable to attend our general meeting, which is scheduled at the headquarters. Now, remember, I said I want you to have a direct answer in the first sentence, but you haven't done that. You've started a new sentence. So that is not what I wanted you to do. It's not wrong, but it's not as focused. I want my students' essays to be completely focused. Okay, the reason behind this is I have a dental appointment on that day. Why did you make a dental appointment on the same day as the visit that you scheduled, the visit that you planned to the main office? I mean, maybe you would do it. Maybe, I don't know, but like, would it not seem incredibly disrespectful to your manager that you said to your managers, like, okay, I'm going to come to the headquarters and I'm going to meet you on Friday. And then you message the manager again. You go, I decided I just, go to the dentist instead. So if you've already made an appointment with one person, what that would mean is that you're going to keep that time because you've already told the person you're going to do it. So maybe that is the reason, but it's very rude. So maybe for the tone of the letter, if you were to say, I have an emergency appointment with the dentist, that would be different. So like, something happened, your tooth fell out, you're in pain, you have to go right now. Fair enough. But the way you've written it, it just sounds like I decided that, the dentist was more important than you. So I've decided to go to the dentist instead. So if it's a general checkup, that would be pretty rude. But if it's an emergency dental appointment where you have no choice, you're in pain, there's something wrong in your mouth, that would be okay. Akbar, I'm writing this letter to inform you that I'm unable to visit on Monday because my house because my house, so just the tense, has been affected, you'd need to use present perfect, has been affected by the recent flooding, and I have to do major shifting all household item. We'll say, and I have to move all of the household. What would we say? Items? That doesn't sound right. I have to move all of the furniture. I think I have to move everything. That would actually be the most natural way of saying it. And I have to move everything and find a safe shelter for my family, which is for obvious reasons my top priority at the moment. Something like that. Okay. For that reason, I have to stay with her at home for the next week to assist and serve her until she recovers 100%. Good, Yasin, exactly. Okay, and what I really like about this, Yasin, is that you're very clearly learning from your mistakes. And that's exactly what the lesson is for. It's not to point out your mistakes to make you feel bad about yourself. It's to help you learn. And that's exactly it. Oh, sorry, I copied the wrong one. Here we go. Okay, so say for this reason, not that reason. For this reason, I have to stay with her. I have to stay, and then we say where? At home with her, not with her at home. I have to stay at home with her for the next week to assist and serve. We would more talk about serve is more like a waiter in a restaurant, or maybe like an employee, but not really a husband and wife. So like take care of would be more, like a close relationship. You're doing it because you love her, not because it's some you're being paid for it. Like, let's say that. To assist and take care of her until she recovers. Now, 100% is fine for an informal letter, but this is a formal letter to your manager, so that wouldn't work. So until she recovers completely. Now, how many words have we here? Looks just about right. 53. I am completely wrong. It's too short. Okay, so we're still looking for about another 10 words or so onto this. So what else could we say here? We still need to finish this paragraph. Akbar, I'm writing this letter to inform you that I am unavailable to visit on Monday because my house... Have I looked at this already? I have. Okay. Akash, yes, I got it. Okay, so let me just finish it off. So I think the thing here is like we normally have a date. So just looking at this paragraph, we normally have a date where we would expect the lady to give birth. Roughly, it's never exact, but roughly at the date. So maybe we weren't expecting my daughter to be born so soon, and for this reason. So there, we'll just say like, and that would explain like when I made when I planned to visit, when I made the plan with you, I was not expecting this to happen, and it was unexpected. I think that's just nice to make it clear that, when I made the plan with you, I didn't know, therefore I wasn't messing you around or I wasn't disrespecting you. And then, it was something that I didn't know was going to happen. I think it's nice to add that. Okay, so from there, that brings us to our second prompt. So my next task for you is to write the first sentence of paragraph 2. So the prompt is apologize for the short notice. Apologize for the short notice. So that's the next thing we need to do. the first sentence of paragraph 2. And again, make sure to give a direct response in the first sentence. Don't get there eventually, get there in the beginning. Okay, Domenico, since this problem has come up unexpectedly, I'm expected to visit to my relative for emotional support until he recovers from his illness. Yep, that would work in the context of your first sentence. Yep. Yasin again. Please accept my sincere apologies for the short notice. Perfect. Yes. I kind of feel like this is one of the more tricky paragraphs to write, because once you've given the apology, you've kind of said everything you need to say, yet you need to write, you need to write a 60-word paragraph. Please accept my sincere apologies for the short notice. Okay, so perfect first sentence, but now we need to continue writing about this issue. Let me just make this bit a little bit smaller so we can get everything on the screen. Okay, so now we need to finish the paragraph. Okay, so good job, Yasin. Definitely that works. But how are we going to write the rest of the paragraph? So this is probably, I think, of all the prompts, apologize for the short notice, it's probably the most difficult one, or to apologize, because you said you're sorry. Now you have to keep talking about why you're sorry. So you kind of have to grovel a bit. But that's the task. That's what you need to do. So regardless, how would you develop paragraph 2? So that's what I want you to write next. It needs to be a total of about 60 words, and it needs to focus on why we are sorry. Okay, so I'll let you get on with that. And good job, Yasin. Musa, I would be grateful if you could reply as soon as possible. That would likely be the last sentence. Sorry, just 1 second. That would likely be the last sentence of your essay before you sign off. So, before you would say yours sincerely, Mausa, that might be something you would write. I would be grateful if you could please reply as soon as possible. If you needed the person to reply, yeah, you could say that at the end. I'm not sure it would be very appropriate in this circumstance. It doesn't look like a letter where you would need an urgent reply. But it definitely wouldn't be appropriate as your apology. So if you're responding to the task, how would you develop paragraph 2? Or if you're responding to the prompt, apologize for the short notice, that would not be relevant. I would appreciate if, okay, so Domenico again here. I would appreciate if you could accept my profound apologies for causing such inconvenience to you. Very nicely worded. Yes. Yep. And you get a little bit longer. You get a little bit more out of it. So I'm actually going to replace Yasin's sentence with Domenico's. There's nothing wrong with Yasin's sentence, but it's just the fact that our paragraph needs to be about 60 words long, and Domenico's sentence is a bit longer. So it just means we need less filler. So the fact that it's longer is what I like about it. Yasin's first sentence was perfect, only that now we have more words. So the task is still the same. How would you develop paragraph 2 further? If you guys are struggling with this, let me just suggest that you make it clear. You make it clear to the manager that you understand why it is such an inconvenience. So, if you just show them that you understand why they would be upset or why they might not be happy about it, you show your understanding for the other person. That would be generally the next step in an apology. So just make it clear that you would understand their perspective and why they would not be happy about that. That would generally be the next. If I was to develop this paragraph, that's what I would do, to show them that I understand their side and why it is in fact inconvenient. It's not the only way, but just it would be how I would approach it. That is how I would approach it. Okay, so we only have another 19 minutes left. It looks like we're not going to finish this essay. That's not a massive problem, to be honest. Basically, we're doing the same thing for each prompt. So far, the main issue we've seen is that people have not been specific enough with their ideas, and then just vocab and grammar mistakes. So we would do the same thing for prompt 1, prompt 2, prompt 3. So one paragraph for each of the prompts, and then we'd sign off at the end. Domenico, who is in fact doing academic IELTS, is doing a pretty good job with general training. So if it ever comes up, you need to do general training, Domenico, it seems like you're not going to have a massive problem. I'm thoroughly aware that this meeting would have been extremely important as it was designed to lay out plans for the next project that the corporation intend to develop. Lovely job. Fantastic. Yep. So explaining why you know it's a problem that you're missing it. Really good. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste that verbatim. Pretty aware that this meeting. So I'm just going to change this. Why this meeting was why this meeting is extremely important, as it was designed to lay out plans for the next project that the corporation intends to develop. So some small grammar mistakes, but that's looking really good. How many words have we here? 45, so a little bit short. So I'll just add to this. Let's push forward with the lesson a bit. I'll write a bit myself. I understand that your time is incredibly valuable, and I am also thoroughly aware. Okay, so what have we got here now? 55, still a bit short. I hope that this change to our meeting doesn't interfere with the project in any way. I'm just looking for something to say about my apology, to make my apology sound more sincere and to get myself up to the correct number of words. This is now 72 words. Too long. But you know what? Let's just leave it there. It's a little bit long, but not a big problem. All right. So that brings us to the third prompt. Just trying to squeeze everything down. Excuse me for being so finicky with my formatting. Okay, so that brings us to the fourth prompt. The third prompt, suggest a new time to visit. So that's the final one. Okay, so we're not going to have time for much more than the first sentence of paragraph 3. You know what? Rather than doing that, let's focus on the last thing. We would write paragraph 3 in the same way. So suggest a new time to visit. You would put that in the first sentence, suggest the actual time, and then develop that idea for a full 60 words. So fully develop that. The last thing we need to do then is to sign off. So the only thing that you can really do wrong is sign off in a way that is informal. It is a formal letter. Our sign off must be formal. So let's make this the last task of today's lesson. How would you sign off this letter? So again, in the comments, let me know, and we'll finish up there for today. Domenico, you're very welcome. No problem at all. I wouldn't go with this, Yasin. I look forward to meeting you during the visit. There's nothing wrong with having a little kind of final message in your letter, but it won't help your score. And it won't help your score, and it's not included in the word count. So, when the examiner is counting the number of words you've written, they'll only look at the body paragraphs. The little bits that you can add at the beginning, at the end, they don't really have any significance. So it's not wrong, but it's not going to do anything to improve your score. All right, this is exactly what I was looking for. Yes. So at the end, we're going to have, obviously, paragraph 3 here, which we're not going to write today. And then, yours sincerely, Karma Yasin. Like that. Okay, so we didn't finish our letter, but we do have everything but paragraph 3 written. So this is what it would look like here. Good. We're just missing that paragraph about suggest a new time for a visit. Okay, but all in all, we've definitely seen what it takes to write an essay, a letter. I mean, you've seen all the components. You've seen where you can go wrong. You can see what types of mistakes are typical. So always directly respond to the prompt in the first sentence of each paragraph. When you're developing it, make sure that you remember what the prompt is. Don't talk about, your main idea in general. Okay. Akash, I hope you will accept my apology, or I hope you can accept my apology and reply to me as soon as possible. We wouldn't ask them to reply until the end. And really, the last prompt was to suggest a new time. So you would probably ask them to respond in relation to that, not in relation to your apology. So that wouldn't be an appropriate place to say that. Hi, Delight. Welcome back. I sincerely apologize for these changes. Good. I can understand you must have planned everything. Yep. So you're on track. Obviously, it's too short, but you're doing what you need to do. So, yep, that's good. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for today. And like I said, I have a live feedback lesson tomorrow. That's my group class on Zoom. If you want to join that, if you've already signed up, you'll see the schedule. Just click the Zoom link. If you haven't signed up already, you'll find the link to join in the comments in the video description. Delight, please continue. We won't have time to get through another paragraph, and I have a lesson in 10 minutes. So obviously I'm not going to be late for my student, but you do have the full idea. Later this week as well, I'll post a full answer to this question. I have a page with sample letters for general training task 1. And it just depends when I'll have time. It'll be later this week. I don't know exactly, but I'll probably have time on Sunday. I'll share the page with you here. If you just look in the comments, sample letters, click on that link. There are a bunch of them there already. There are like 6 of them. I'll add a sample letter for the question we just looked at later this week. So you can have a look there now. You will see some already, but I will add the other one. Arvinder, you're very welcome. Mosa, no problem. Thank you, Arvinder, and you're very welcome. Next month, October. You've plenty of time. You can make a lot of progress in the month. Okay, so talk to some of you tomorrow in the live feedback lesson. I'll have another live stream on Tuesday next week. We'll be looking at some other topic. So talk to you then. Yasin. good job today. Everyone else, take care of yourselves. Best of luck to those of you who have IELTS tests coming up.